Hello ladies and gentlemen, Maximus here with a Website Pro, and today we're going to be talking about creating a table and um, a database at the same time. And so if we look at the database that I have in here in my PHP MyAdmin, we're going to be creating one called members. You can see that it is not here. So this is what you're going to be learning. Now if I go and I reload this, you can see database created successfully, table users created successfully. I reloaded that in the script, and whenever I go back to home here and I click on databases, you can see that I have the database of members that we just did. And then if you open that up, you can see I have a table of users. And then if you look at that structure, you can see I have ID, username, email, and password. And so we did this on the fly. So without further ado, let's dive into our lesson here, and we're going to create two files. One is createdatabase.php and the other one is db.php. Okay, so in the db.php we're actually just going to be bringing in some code here. Let me bring in some code so I can explain this to you a little bit clearer. And copy. All right, so the database pass, this would be whatever your password is. Now, I'm not going to share my password with anybody, but so this is what would be, your password to your MySQL. All right, so just make a file, call it DB, just like that, and then you will have the information we need for this other script. Okay, so let me go ahead and grab this right here. And let's take this one at a time. So we're going to start by opening up our PHP, all right? And we're going to include that file that we just created. Include once the demo.php or the db.php. All right. The next thing we want to do is create a connection. Okay, so we're going to copy that and we're going to create the connection, and the connection is $CON equals new MySQL. This is good for PHP 7 as well. So we're grabbing the local host that we put in this db.php, the db username that we put in db.php, and the db pass. Okay, so that creates our new connection. Okay, the next thing that we want to do is we want to check the connection. Okay, and then we'll do that like this. Here we check the connection. If con connect error, this is a PHP function, then we want it to die. And then connection failed, and then it'll give us the connection error. Okay? The next thing we want to do is start creating the database. So let me grab that right here. Copy. Okay, so we start with setting a SQL variable equals create database DB name, which is found in the db.php. If the con query SQL is equal to true, then we'll just echo out that database was created successfully. Else echo error creating database, and we'll have it spit out that database error so we can debug it. The next thing that we're going to do is make another connection. Okay. And for this connection, this is so we can create the table. So we make another CON equals MySQL connect. We're grabbing the local host, DB username, DB pass, and then notice here the database name itself also located in db.php. All right. Now it's time to create the table. So let's go ahead and create the table with this little code right here. All right, now notice what this is doing. We set another SQL, create table. We're going to create a table of users. We're going to give them an ID of integer 6 unassigned and auto increment that, and this is going to be our primary key. We put our little comma. The next column we're going to create is username. For that, we're going to use varchar of 250 characters and not null. We're going to put another comma, create an email place for varchar 250 and not null, and then we put another comma. We want to create a password area, varchar 250, not null again. with a comma, and then registered date. And for that, we'll just put a timestamp. And now notice there's no comma after that. Finally, we close it out with our parentheses and our quotes, and then we put our terminator on there. Now let's do a check. If con query SQL is equal to true, echo table users created successfully. Okay. Else, we'll put an else statement here, that there was an error creating the table, and then spit that error out. Finally, after we're all done, we want to close the script and close our PHP tag, and we'll do that just like this here, con close. All right, so we'll go ahead and save that script, and let me go ahead and do a little thing here off screen, putting my password in the db.php, and we have to bring up this members, and I have to delete it out of here so I could show you that it will create members again for you. So let me go ahead and tick on members there, and I'm going to drop that table so it is non-existent. See, it's out of there, it's non-existent. And now let's go ahead and load up create database instead of demo create database. And whenever I hit enter on there, database created successfully, table users created successfully. And if we load it up in our PHP myadmin, once again, we could see that our members are there and we're ready to rock and roll. Now, this is a precursor to the next video lesson. And that next video lesson is I'm going to start teaching you guys how to encrypt passwords and store them in a database. But I had to get this one out of the way first so I could be teaching you more about password encryption. This is Max with A1 Website Pro. I hope you found this tutorial helpful and beneficial.